Lilly made a massive and extremely interesting move with retatrutide today with the FDA. They're suing the FDA. And I want you to understand what the implications are here, but you're going to have to be one of those GLP nerds and stick with me all the way to the end to really fully understand this. So this is a Deep Tracks retatrutide video. Let's learn something today. When a drug company files for a patent on a new molecule that they invent, the clock starts ticking on that patent the moment that they are granted that patent. In tirzepatide's case, Mounjaro and Zepbound, the patent started in 2016. In retatrutide's case, it was just 2 years later, in 2018, that the patent was granted. So for both tirzepatide and retatrutide, respectively, the 20-year clock started, and tirzepatide will expire in 2036, retatrutide in 2038. If you're like me, you just assume, well, in 2036, we'll get generic tirzepatide, and in 2038, we'll get generic retatrutide. Not so fast. In addition to your 20-year patent, you basically get 5 years for a drug, 5 years from the time the drug hits the market, where you get complete exclusivity. It means it doesn't matter if your patent is challenged in court, nobody can make your drug in generic form for at least 5 years. After that 5 years is up, basically your patent can be challenged, right? The validity of your patent then is fair game to be challenged in court, which could open the doors for generic versions to come way before that 20 years on that clock is done ticking. We're actually seeing this with semaglutide right now. Patents are being challenged on semaglutide. Semaglutide's patent, which is set to expire in 2031, is already facing scrutiny and challenges in court. So now we get to the fight in court between the FDA and Lilly over retatrutide. If retatrutide, like tirzepatide, is simply classified as a normal small molecule drug, they only have 5 years until their patent can be challenged in court, which means the clock started on Mounjaro in 2022. That means starting in 2027, you could see somebody come onto the scene, want to make tirzepatide. They'll be able to at that point, but they will have to win a challenge in court on the patents to bring it to market. If Eli Lilly gets a designation as a biologic, the difference being a drug is basically a small molecule manufactured with a chemical process, where a biologic, typically a much more complex manufacturing process involving living organisms like an antibody or a protein. If Lilly were to get designation for retatrutide as a biologic, which the FDA hasn't wanted to give them up to this point, instead of getting 5 years of exclusivity once it gets on the market, they will enjoy 12 years of exclusivity before anyone can legally challenge their patent in court. That's the difference of an additional 7 years on the market that retatrutide would have, with absolutely no biosimilars available to challenge its price. Oh, and biologics tend to command a higher price in the market. This will be another interesting one to see. Could Eli Lilly be testing the waters of the Chevron case to basically challenge the FDA's authority to determine whether or not retatrutide is a biologic? But this will make a huge difference in the accessibility and the affordability of this medication to patients if Eli Lilly were to win this one. If you found this video insightful, helpful, interesting, please share it somewhere and make sure that you follow the channel for more updates just like this.